It's mid-morning for Brevard County. I'm the Philosopher Pirate, and this is Florida at Large. Firstly, I want to thank everyone for the page views. I want to thank Google for promoting my channel outside of the dozen or so um, old friends, acquaintances, and so forth that I sent a link to when I launched my channel a little earlier than I had originally planned. And that is for this particular reason, this park issue, my office. I work in the state parks. I didn't realize how many other individuals would be as upset as I was. Even two senators, the U.S. senators from Florida, Mr. Scott and Mr. Rubio, have expressed concerns. I also, before I go any further, the party that sent the $40 donation for gasoline, thank you very much. I just was at Sam's Club and filled the tank. Also, I want to thank the anonymous individual for the $5 cup of coffee donation. My coffee doesn't cost anywhere near $5, but that's what that donation thing works like. I'm going to actually calculate how much my coffee actually costs. Even maybe the energy costs, whether it's from solar or gasoline, because there is maintenance with solar and there's maintenance for the entire electrical system. Getting back to the Florida, great parks, great outdoor initiative, whatever the heck it is. There's already been a victory. Dickinson Park, the group it's called the Tuskegee Dunes Foundation. It was incorporated in August of 21 and currently has $436 in delinquent taxes with the state of Delaware Division of Corporations. What's interesting, and this is from Gears Girl on Reddit. She's been doing some research. If I'm using the correct pronoun, I apologize if I'm not. But anyways, Gears Girl and many others on Reddit and other social networks have been digging, including myself. And I also want to thank the Palm Beach Post. They've done an excellent job of journalism. It surprised me, but they actually did. But apparently, from lobbyist records, Ryan E. Matthews, he's a representative for the Tuskegee Dunes Foundation. And he has an address in Owasso, Oklahoma. That sounds like Florida, all right. Owasso, Oklahoma. Matthews, who's now with the law firm Gray Robinson, that's a Tallahassee group, if I'm not mistaken, and is interim secretary of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. The Florida DEP is who's behind this whole initiative for development. And that was under Rick Scott. He served for 4 months in 17. So this fellow is in deep. What really bothers me is this Tuskegee Dunes Foundation is it appears to be some kind of veterans charity, and it's also somehow connected with Jack Nicklaus, the famous golfer. The important thing is whoever this Dunes Foundation is, because with my research for about an hour, I was not able to find anything. And I'm not even sure if the information I just repeated is exactly correct because I wasn't able to verify it myself. They have basically done everything they can to keep their anonymity of who is actually behind this. But the important part is the golf course project looks to be canceled. This group has withdrawn from basically creating this giant golf course at Dickinson Dickinson State Park. So that park is now no longer in the running. And so, we'll see. Now, as far as the parks go, so a small victory. There's still 8 parks to go. There are groups planning protests at Honeymoon Island. And I didn't see that as a big deal myself, but the locals aren't happy about it. It's 4 pickleball courts. Even the local pickleball groups don't want pickleball courts on the beach. They said when they go to the beach, they want to go to the beach. If they want to go play pickleball, they'll go play pickleball elsewhere. So I understand their point. I was looking at the financial report. This is the financial report, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, which runs the parks in Florida. This is last year. The Florida parks, without these 350-room resorts, without the pickleball courts, without the championship golf courses, which, by the way, are devastating for the environment. The runoff from pesticides and herbicides alone would be devastating, despite all the interruption to all the wildlife and so forth. And there are endangered species as well in these parks. I see them with my very own eyes. The total economic impact, this is with the revenue, the parks, $3.6 billion. That was revenue for 1 year. The state parks as they are now. The state parks charge admission, somewhere between $4 and $12, and I could be mistaken. But I have a park pass, so I'm exempt from that. And the park pass is $60. I opted to pay for the $120 park pass, which is considered a family pass or a vehicle pass. Basically covers up to 8 occupants in the vehicle. And the reason why I purchased that pass is because I'm driving a van, and almost every time I would approach and show my pass to a ranger at the ranger station before I entered the park, are there anybody else in your vehicle? Because if there are, they need to pay $2 a piece or $4 a piece. It's extra per person. And they would want to look into my van, and I don't mind the park rangers looking into my van. I'm not hiding anything, but it was a hassle. People were lined behind me, so I opened the door and showed them, no, I'm the only one in here. So by spending an extra $60, I figured that was a donation to the state of Florida. I really enjoy the park. So $120 a year, no big deal. $10 a month. I mean, people spend that much in Starbucks for a cup of coffee in 1 day. So I figure I'm way ahead of the game. Anyways, the total supported jobs in this same report, on the same line in the same report, probably can't see that, but 50,427 jobs. That the admission fees and other fees, this is the rental of the existing cabins, campsites, tent sites. They even have primitive camping sites, which basically is nothing. It's just a piece of ground. You can pitch your tent on. I don't know if it's permitted to park a vehicle on. I have not actually tried. I usually don't stay overnight in the parks, although I have nothing against that. Basically, the parks are already generating plenty of revenue. It's a cash cow for the state of Florida. This initiative appears to me not to increase the value of the parks, to promote tourism. It looks like there's plenty of tourism. This initiative is basically, it appears more and more to me, and I read one person, I believe it was Gears Girl on Reddit, sketchy AF. I think you know what AF is. And basically, I would say the whole thing looks like it's a way to pay developers and then further organizers in the future that are friends, family, whatever, of politicians and bureaucrats. What else is new? You know, this has been going on since the Roman era and probably prior to that, the Roman Empire. I mean, corruption along with power is synonymous, apparently. I want to thank anyone who actually watched my channel in my infancy of it so far. If you actually contacted the legislature or something, because it seems to be making a difference. There are groups all over protesting. The state of Florida was going to have meetings. Now, this bothers me. Simultaneous meetings at all 9 locations, on 9 park locations, public meetings. They were scheduled for today. I was going to visit the one in St. Johns County, which is Anastasia State Park, St. Augustine. I changed my plans. I'm going to try to shoot some video of a launch overnight, but I was going to drive back to Brevard County to shoot the video of the launch, and I have a launch video online now. But I decided, because the meetings had been canceled, actually not canceled, I should say, correct word, postponed until September 2nd. But again, all of the meetings, I would like to attend every single one of them and speak and report that back here to yourselves on this channel. The parks, Honeymoon Island is one. Like I said, I've been to every single one of these parks. Every single one of them that is slated in the plan, I have been to. Like I said, Top Sail's another one. Grayton Beach. They do not need more cabins. and they're slating 350 cabins or lodgers or resort hotels. This is ridiculous. I mean, I could actually accept. I think Grayton Beach has 8, and if they wanted to add 2 more, I say okay, add 2 more. I mean, honestly, there's already a waiting list. There's a waiting list for the campgrounds, the campsites, and so forth. I would say if they want to expand the ability to stay overnight, increase the amount of primitive camping. That's just raw land, no electricity, no water, or they also have tent sites that do have water, but and electricity, but they don't allow vehicle parking, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's also full-blown camper sites, even with sewer. I would say increase that because that has a lot less impact on nature. A vehicle's parked there, then it leaves. A tent is pitched, then it's stowed in a vehicle, and the vehicle wanders away. That has a much lower impact. Governor DeSantis or whoever is behind this, I would suggest increasing the accessibility, meaning handicapped people can use the campgrounds, accessibility, and also increase the campground space or add additional campgrounds areas where people can, spend the night and spend a few days, and they're closer to nature, more in touch. And these people that have RVs, people that like tent camping, people like me that, the so-called van living, remote working, I would appreciate that. I am not a fan of, I'm speaking to a lady over at Payne's Prairie about this subject. That's a beautiful state park, by the way. That's in Alachua County. And I don't believe it is slated in the list for development. I'm going to provide that list tomorrow in my next video. She basically stated that you'll see people that will bring their RV into the campground. Now, this is a beautiful place. There's wild horses there, wild bison or buffalo, if you prefer to call them that. It is an amazing place. And I included a video uploaded yesterday of a blue-tailed skink. I figure I'll leave it up to the viewers to decide which type it is. One is endangered or protected. The other one's quite common. Anyways, she stated that these RVers would arrive and they all of a sudden start playing all this loud music and started installing all these lights everywhere, hanging them from the trees around their campsite and everything. Light the place up, like it's New York City, Times Square. And then she says, and then they play loud music all into the night, super loud music. And she says, why do they have to bring Miami or New York City into a pristine campground? Just listening to the frogs and the crickets at night is just amazing. It almost sounds like they're saying something to you. It almost sounds like there's voices when you have hundreds and perhaps thousands of frogs all chirping along with the crickets and so forth. The sound, and every once in a while you hear an alligator groan, it almost sounds like a symphony. At least it does to me. And then during the daytime, the cicadas and the birds, and it's amazing the sounds of nature. And yet, play the loud music and shine all the bright lights. Bring New York City or Miami to your campsite, and I guess that's part of the fault of these RV salespeople. You can have all the comforts of home no matter where you're at. Well, then why even leave home? If you want all the comforts of home, why leave home? You're not really experiencing traveling. You're not experiencing the outdoors. You're not experiencing anything new. It's basically you can experience all that at home. So I understand the plush RVs. I have nothing against them. I prefer more rugged camping, hiking, swimming, and paddling. I enjoy the water. I enjoy the land. I enjoy the fresh air, and I enjoy the sounds and the sights. And I hope I can share those with you. But I'm very appreciative. There are protests planned all over Florida. There's a change.org. And I believe it has like 25,000 signatures now so far to stop this development initiative. The other part of the Great Outdoors Initiative of Governor DeSantis, I completely agree with. That was providing free admission during weekends. Certain weekends, it was free admission and so forth. I have to salute Walton County. They paid the state park admissions, I think, for a whole month this summer. They paid for every individual entering the state parks. And as a courtesy to Walton County, I showed my annual pass so that they wouldn't have to pay for me. Those are the type of initiatives that I really appreciate. but don't overdevelop these parks. Don't you know don't defecate on my office, and that's essentially what you'll be doing. I want to see nature. I want to be in a relaxing environment. I do not want to see. If I want to see people, like I said in my previous video, I go to Disney World. I go to Miami Beach. I go to Orlando. And torture myself for a day. And not that I mind people at all. When I go to a park, that's when I don't want to see people. If I go to a busy nightclub or whatever, a concert, then I expect to see people. And I expect to enjoy the company of good people, but not in the parks. Let's keep the parks the way they are. Anyways, I really appreciate it. Hopefully that's not too long of a morning rant this morning. I'm trying to make them a little shorter, but of course, these are morning ramblings, morning rants. Anyways, I'm the Philosopher Pirate. This is Florida at Large. It's early morning in Brevard County.